From Stuart Robson and myself, Jim Proudfoot, welcome to Buenos Aires for the final of the 2011 Copa America, as two of the continent's smaller nations meet in the final that nobody expected. After the quarter-final departures of the powerhouses of Brazil and Argentina at the hands of these two countries, we guaranteed an end to the recent domination of both the Seleção and the hosts. Instead, Uruguay embark on their first final since 1999, while Paraguay, who've got this far without winning a single game, hope to lift the trophy for only the third time and for the first time since 1979. And it's fair to say, Stuart, that there's a slight clash in footballing cultures here this evening.
There certainly is. Paraguay, very much a good defensive side. They play on the counter-attack, but that can also be said about Uruguay. But what Uruguay have got are two forwards that really can play on the counter-attack in Suarez and Forlan.
It is a capacity crowd of 58,000 here this evening. I'm sure Mr. Blatter thinks that most of them are here to see him, but he will be the man that is introduced to the Uruguay team, first of all, by the skipper Diego Lugano. There's Diego Forlan, who's actually in the worst goal-scoring drought of his international career. But he only needs 2 goals to equal Uruguay's all-time goal-scoring record set by Hector Scaroni. Sebastian Coates, just 20 years of age, the big number 4, winning only his 5th cap this evening, the least experienced of the Uruguayan players. The officials this evening come from Brazil, Salvio Fagundes, an official who has refereed 2 games so far and produced 2 red cards, both in Chile's win against Peru. Gusto Villar is the Paraguayan skipper, goalkeeping hero, having had a starring role particularly in the game against Brazil, but also a notable penalty save in the shootout against Venezuela. 95th cap for Gusto Villar tonight, who actually played against Uruguay some 7 years ago in the quarter-final. He'll be hoping for some personal revenge on behalf of Paraguay. Sepp Blatter vacates the scene. Passionate Uruguayan support here in Buenos Aires, as you would expect, not that far in the grand scheme of things from the Uruguayan border. The majority of supporters here this evening are favouring La Celeste. Must be the worst time for the players, standing in the line, just waiting for the game to actually get started, waiting for the formalities to finally come to an end. But we're nearly there. We will start with the national anthems, and firstly that of Paraguay.
continuación, el himno nacional de Uruguay.
magnificent Uruguayan national anthem might have been nicked straight out of Mozart's operas, but never fails to make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. Uruguay coming into this game as favourites thanks to their formidable strike partnership of Luis Suarez and Diego Forlan, and the inspired form of goalkeeper Néstor Muslera. Suarez 2 goals in the semi-final against Peru, maintained his personal hopes of winning the Golden Boot. Today, though, he will face a defence that hasn't conceded in 4 hours, and that Paraguayan backline, the foundation behind all of their success so far. They haven't been pretty, having relied on penalty shootouts in each of their last 2 matches. They're undoubtedly better without the ball than they are with it, but it has been some achievement, having limped out of the group stage as the second best third-place team for La Albirroja to even reach the final at all.
Actuemos siempre pensando en los derechos de los niños, para que estén protegidos. Con tu firman, ganan los chicos.
Hablamos en nombre de todos los jugadores que participaron en esta Copa América. Nosotros hemos sumado nuestras voces y nos hemos comprometido por la infancia. Queremos que los niños, las niñas y los adolescentes sean protegidos de toda forma de discriminación.
Why did I walk out of those Spanish GCSE classes? I think you'll have got the general gist of what it was about. You know, a petition against discrimination, which of course sentiments that everybody applauds. Venue here tonight, the Monumental, the scene of the riot when River Plate were relegated for the first time in their history last month. An altogether happier evening awaits one of these 2 sides. Will it be Uruguay or will it be Paraguay who are lifting the trophy in a couple of hours, or if Paraguay's form is anything to go by, 3 hours' time? Paraguay have won the toss. Gusto Villar taking the end away to our right-hand side, seemingly. Villar winning his 95th cap tonight. He actually was transferred from his club in Spain, Valladolid, to Estudiantes here in Argentina over the course of the last week or so. He has a reputation for saving penalties. Will he be able to enhance that reputation tonight, thwart Oscar Tabarez's man? Uruguay incidentally making only 1 change to the team that beat Peru in the semi-final, with Diego Perez back from suspension in place of Gargano in midfield. He'll make his 20th appearance in the Copa America. 5 of this team are ever present. A multitude of changes for Paraguay, most notably the omission of Lucas Barrios up front, who's replaced by Pablo Ceballos. He makes his first start of the tournament this evening. Roque Santa Cruz is still injured, so Valdez remains up front. Santana suspended after his red card in the semi-final. So Victor Cáceres returns, and Maricos and Vera are recalled as well. So all change as far as Paraguay are concerned. Just wonder whether the lack of consistency in the team selection might be an advantage or might ultimately hinder them. Luis Suarez certainly the man that they will have to watch. So the first time in 43 renewals of the Copa America, it's Uruguay and Paraguay who face each other in the final. 2 countries with a combined population of only around 5% of that of Brazil, on the verge of the continent's biggest prize. But who will be victorious? Will it be Uruguay for a record 15th time, or will it be Paraguay for the first time in 32 years? We're about to find out. Salvio Fagundes, the Brazilian referee, gets the final of the 2011 Copa America underway. And Uruguay kicking from right to left in their traditional sky blue shirts in this first half.
Well, one thing that Uruguay have changed in their semi-final, they played with 3 at the back. They're going with 2 at the back. The back 4, much more attacking from them. I think they're going to be the ones that are going to have to take the game to Paraguay.
What do you expect from the Paraguayans tonight, bearing in mind they've been very successful with this tactic of keeping bodies behind the ball, seeing off both Brazil and Venezuela in goalless draws after extra time?
Well, what I expect to see is what they did against Brazil. In both games against Brazil, they pressed the ball high up the field for the first 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And then they started to drop off that little bit deeper and just soak up pressure and then play on the counter-attack. They looked a tired team in the semi-final.
Bounce of the ball a little bit awkward for Veron. Suarez trying to spin him behind, and he might get there here. Veron doing his best to get the ball past him, and it ends up ricocheting into the side netting. And out of play for a corner with Justo Villar, the captain and goalkeeper, getting a bang to the ribs seemingly.
Yeah, Suarez causing problems. They didn't clear the ball. They had one chance to clear it. Suarez does really well. He could just get to the inside of his body on it in the end. Good play from Suarez. Saw in the semi-final, he's got a great eye for goal.
First corner of the game with Lugano making the run in towards the near post. Great save! And did it hit a hand on the way through? Certainly all the Uruguayans are appealing that that was a handball on the line from one of the Paraguayan defenders. Diego Lugano, the Uruguayan skipper, coming so close to giving his side the lead inside the opening couple of minutes. Now Ceballos on the break at the other end, and he can't get a shot in, but what an open start to the game.
Brilliant start to the game. The set play was excellent. Both Lugano and Coates got away from their markers. Lugano headed it. I'm not sure when it came back to Lugano whether there was a handball, but it was a great save from the first header. Lugano really attacked it with determination. Good start from Uruguay. I was actually watching Coates, who'd got away from his man. He would have had a free header as well.
It was a handball that time against Nelson Valdez. That scored the winner in a match against Uruguay. There's the earlier effort.
Well, it did certainly hit the hand of Ortigotha. Watch again. Lugano gets free. Good save. There's the hand of Ortigotha. Really good goalkeeping. Villar.
He's certainly been the goalkeeper of the tournament, Justo Villar, and that's another one for the DVD. They've got more work to do, certainly from a neutral's perspective, because of the way Paraguay play. I think many would like to see Uruguay score an early goal to entice Albirroca out of their shell a little bit, but it's almost come already. Both Coates and Lugano make their ways forward again.
Well, De Silva just went to the referee and said there was a bit of blocking last time. It's the referee to keep an eye on that. There certainly wasn't any blocking on Coates, because Herrera is decent in the air as well.
Lugano makes a deeper run this time. It's Forlan, fires it in. It was Cáceres that got his headed to it at the near post, and his reaction suggests that he thinks he should have done much, much better with the chance.
I'm not sure what Coates is moaning about there. He claiming that he was tugged and could have got onto the end of the ball. Suarez actually didn't anticipate that one when it came to the far post, unlike him. But what a couple of set plays from this man, Diego Forlan. What a save it was from him, Villar.
Three corners in the opening 4.5 minutes for Uruguay. Herrera Vera just off the field receiving a little bit of treatment on this near touchline at the moment. The corner will be taken without him. Another Forlan in swinger, the worst of the 3 deliveries so far. Back out of the former Manchester United man, whose cross is blocked.
Vera getting the block in. So he's going to be playing out on this right-hand side, Vera. He's played in the middle during the tournament on a couple of occasions. A nosebleed, Pereira.
About 3 corners to deal with. Now a long throw from Martin Cáceres. And we'll play for a goal kick, and Paraguay can get their breath back.
Here's that good effort again. Great header, good save. And certainly was a handball in there by Ortigoza. Watch number 20 here. There goes the hand. He almost catches it the second time round. It was Coates with the header there.
It's a confirmation of the 2 teams. Uruguay making just the 1 change from the side that beat Peru, as Luis Suarez makes his way inside the penalty area. Almost managed to turn Veron. He's won another corner. Paraguay with a host of changes. Santana suspended, Barrios, Cáceres and Edgar Barreto, the players dropped, with Marcos Ceballos, Vera and Victor Cáceres coming in.
Great strength from Suarez, knocking De Silva to the ground. Veron just got across in time.
Not too sure about the legitimacy of the placing of this corner for Diego Forlan. They are controlling his penalty area very well. Another play by Riveros. Really on the back foot here, Paraguay. Gonzalez. Another play for corner number 5.
Pereira, the right back, getting forward. There's a good cross through the ball as well. Number 16 playing at right back.
Five to aim at again. Header back into the fray from Diego Perez. A little bit of climbing going on inside the penalty area, but the net result of all of that is a goal kick. Diego Lugano going down.
There was a bit of shirt tugging there by De Silva. Really silly play from the number 14 centre back. First he was tugging hold of Lugano's shirt, then he gave him a little shove as well. The referee didn't see it. Good start from his team.
Oscar Telbarez, the man known as El Maestro. This is his 3rd Copa America. This is his 2nd final. He's in charge of the Uruguayan side, beaten in the 1989 final. The goal kick is the verdict, not a free kick. Are they playing for penalties already?
Well, it seems the only way they can win in this tournament so far. How are they going to keep the ball in the top half of the field? They do like to go long at times. They won't play through midfield. Any real quality.
Veron almost sold the back pass short to his goalkeeper. Headed away by Cáceres. Ceballos. Enrique Vera. Good run off the ball from Ceballos. And quickly crowded out of possession by Sebastian Coates, but Paraguay have a corner of their own.
Yeah, good counter-attack. I'm not sure it's the right pass from Vera by playing Zeballos that little bit wider. Coach shows good body strength, read exactly what Zeballos was going to do. Can't prevent the corner.
Low skidding delivery from Zeballos, a disappointing delivery, and an opportunity now perhaps on the counter-attack after the stumble in the midfield. Very entertaining and open first 10 minutes to this 2011 final.
There's the header again. What a save. Certainly wasn't over the line. And there's the handball. No question about it. Clear penalty, and it would also have been a sending off. That's the one thing that Paraguay have got away with.
He would have been in danger of killing the final as Zeballos is caught offside here. It's Pires who's down injured. Inside the opening 90 seconds, it should have been a penalty. Could easily have been 1-0 Uruguay goal up and a man up with the vast majority of the final yet to play. It is still 0-0. That's a lovely ball over the top, a great turn, and the deflection takes it in off the post. Luis Suarez gives Uruguay the lead in the 2011 Copa America final. Uruguay's irresistible striking force finds a way through this Paraguayan defence, which hasn't been breached for 6 hours. 1-0 Uruguay lead.
It's a brilliant finish from Luis Suarez. He looks like he's going to strike it with his right foot, but watch as he just drags it onto his left. Here the ball's played over the top. They don't defend it particularly well to start with. Paraguay bounces around, takes a deflection. He looks like he's going to shoot with his right, drags it onto his left. It does take a bit of a deflection, but brilliant from the striker, Luis Suarez. There's the deflection there. There's the threat of the shot, and it just comes off Ferron and in off the far post. But brilliant play from the striker.
I think Suarez would claim with some justification that Uruguay deserved that little bit of luck that Veron's deflection has given them there after the penalty incident which we've seen from the opening 90 seconds. But Uruguay leading Paraguay by a goal to nil. They too have an outstanding defensive record. They've only conceded 4 goals in their last 7 games. They now have a tangible platform to protect. Suarez' 4th goal of the tournament, his 21st international goal. And Uruguay a goal to the good. Paraguay, of course, have drawn all 5 of their games so far and 7 of their last 8 matches. The majority of them 0-0 draws, but they did score 2 against Brazil in the group stage and 3 against Venezuela in a thrilling group game there, where they conceded twice in the last 2 minutes of that match to draw 3-3.
You have to remember they were 1-0 down against Brazil and came back to lead 2-1. Brazil to score in the last minute. So they have come back from being down in this tournament.
No Barrios in the starting lineup tonight, and no Roque Santa Cruz either.
It's interesting, they have changed their back 4 for this game. Alcaraz has played in most of the games at centre half.
Here's Luis Suarez again. Perez with a clip cross, a little bit deeper than he intended, but Forlan will still be able to pick it up for Uruguay here. Arevalo fighting Maxi Pereira forward.
Playing with an energy, dynamism Uruguay can't cope with at the moment. Uruguay.
Suarez again for Diego Forlan with an option of Pereira to his left.
Just missed the opportunity there. Diego Forlan. Thought he was going to get it onto his left foot to strike it. He also had Pereira wide.
Is Valdez. Cáceres. Vera. Lovely ball clipped in. Valdez sliding in the far post. Had to take it first time because the angle was tight and he couldn't keep it down.
I wonder if he could have gone with his head here to start with, a diving header. Coming in there, if he dives now he can head it. Very difficult with the outside of his right boot to get that on target. Fullback just caught out. Pereira. What we have seen is Valdez just starting to play out on that left-hand side. Leaving Ceballos up front by himself, but he will make those diagonal runs.
Free kick given against Luis Suarez. Liverpool, of course, having no option but to allow Suarez to play in this tournament, even though it's only 3 weeks until the start of the Barclays Premier League season. But what they will have, albeit a tired player, they'll have one going back seemingly who's right on top of his form, confidence high.
I think I've already said that he might not play in the first 2 or 3 games. He'll be given an extra holiday just to recover from this tournament. His work rate there, winning that tackle.
Pires clipping it in. Garno did well to stand between the two strikers. Great control from Suarez, who ultimately is brought down, and the free kick goes Uruguay's way. The first yellow card shown to Cáceres.
Once again, good play from Suarez. Read the flight of the ball, just got his body in the way. Cáceres brings him down. They're struggling in midfield at the moment. They're not playing with any width. Riveros is playing slightly infield. Gotha, I thought, played well in the first game against Brazil. Obviously his manager didn't, Martino, because he hasn't played much since.
Cáceres with another important defensive header. He never strayed too far forward ahead of the two centre-halves in behind him. A midfield that is chock full of central defensive-minded players, although two of them are ostensibly there to provide width tonight in Vera and Riveros. Don't expect too much of it. Here's Cáceres. Suarez, the goal scorer. And Gotha just a little bit too physical as he tried to bring the ball under control. Gonzalez, I beg your pardon. Here's the goal again.
Yeah, it does take a deflection. He was aiming for the near post, Suarez, but it hit Veron on the knee, on the lower part of his leg. But this is the good play, just to drag it inside. There's nothing the goalkeeper Villa could have done about that. But it's great control, great awareness from a striker very much in form.
Paraguay again in no hurry to restart play. It's their own time they're wasting now, though, as they trail by a goal to nil. It's the first time that they've even reached the semi-finals of the Copa America since 1983. Their previous final being in 1979.
Not a great challenge from Gotha, who's just lost his head for the moment.
Play continues despite the fact that one of the Uruguayan players is down hurt. Not the most demonstrative man, Tavares, just coming over to the fourth official to ask for play to be stopped. Cáceres claiming that he was elbowed.
Well, let's hope this doesn't descend into a very niggly game because it's been great football so far. Cáceres tried to stay on the ground, saying he was elbowed, stayed on the ground until he realised the ball wasn't going to be kicked out of play and got himself up. Uruguayans claim that he was play acting. Got a game on his hand, the referee now. Oh, he just left his shoulder there, didn't he?
Well, we've seen a whole host of red cards in this tournament, and you certainly would think that one is more likely to come tonight than not to come. The referee asking Cáceres to leave the field, even though he didn't receive any treatment on the field.
Yeah, I think because the ball was kicked out. Eventually it was kicked out. Stopped the game. Amazing how players roll around in agony and then suddenly they can get up and sprint away. Tobias might clap that pass, but it wasn't a particularly good one. He's gone away from the danger.
Set Blatter asleep there or reading the programme?
Must be a good programme.
Just about anybody of note in terms of the coaching staff of Paraguay is serving a touchline ban tonight. Gerardo Martino sent to the stands against Venezuela. His deputy was as well. Just happy to get plenty of distance on the clearance. It's actually very little to choose between these two sides over nearly 70 previous meetings. Uruguay have a marginal advantage, but in the Copa they've won 13 compared to Paraguay's 6 of the previous meetings between the two sides. You have to go back to 1947 for the last time that Paraguay beat Uruguay in a Copa America match. And Luis Suarez is the man who's doing all the damage tonight. This turn just far too good.
Brilliant turn on Maracos. I don't think it was a dangerous tackle. He was just beaten by superior skill and pace.
Pereira. Victor Cáceres. Martin Cáceres doing the sweeping up for Uruguay. Pires is playing at right back tonight. He played at left back in the semi-final against Venezuela. It has been a real mix and match team selection over the last 2 or 3 games, particularly defensively as far as Paraguay have been concerned. Maracos returning at left back tonight. Ball flicked over the top here for Suarez. The clearance was a vital one from the former Sunderland man De Silva. And Perez just left his foot in, and he's going to possibly receive the first yellow card for a Uruguayan tonight.
Yeah, it's a late challenge. Going to get away with it? I think Lugano tried to plead his innocence, but Perez is going to get the yellow card. Veros just almost tipped him to make the challenge, then played the ball just as he got there. But once he went to ground, he was always going to get booked for that.
Just back from suspension tonight, Diego Perez. He scored his first ever international goal and was sent off in the first half of the game against Argentina. Sunderland's Christian Riveros with this free kick, although he will be playing his football out on loan in Turkey this forthcoming season. Here's Pires. Martin Cáceres with a challenge, and he too is going to receive a yellow card. It's degenerating quite quickly now.
He doesn't need to make this challenge. Just hold up Vera. It's going nowhere. He's got his back to goal. He's right against the touchline. Just too eager to win that first ball. Sometimes win it off the player's touch as he takes his touch, then go and pinch the ball. He got too tight. The result, he's under pressure now, the left back.
Tobias with the delivery. Good defensive header by Perez, turned forward by Forlan. Everybody had come back for the defending of the set piece for Uruguay. There was no out ball, which allows Paraguay the opportunity to bring it forward again with Vera. Back for Ceballos. Playing in only his second game of the tournament, his first start of the tournament tonight. Now Révalo making the most of the fact that Cáceres was overplaying the ball in midfield.
Portugal hasn't played particularly well in the game so far. He was excellent against Brazil. Played in a position where he went to support the front player, then dropped back deeper with these midfield players. Go and support his centre halves. He was the free player for Paraguay. He really did play well. He's had a poor start to this game, giving the ball away cheaply.
No foul by Révalo. One back though by Cáceres. Révalo trying to turn the ball forward and hit it into Riveros, and then Ceballos just leaning into Lugano, concedes the free kick.
Getting a bit feisty at the moment. Riveros, who we thought might play out on the left-hand side of midfield, he's actually playing very centrally now, and they're hoping that Valdez gets out to the left on occasions, or the fullback gets forward. Maracos.
Veron with a header. Pereira. Gonzalez. It was a very bright, exciting, frenetic opening 10-12 minutes, culminating in Luis Suarez's goal for Uruguay, but since then the game has degenerated as a spectacle, increasingly punctuated by the shrill blast of Salvio Fagundes' whistle. Free kick given away here by Ceballos for a handball. Ball from Lugano. Pires some time to take the second touch that he needed. Ortigotha. Ran into trouble ultimately, Révalo. Now Pires. Excellent run by Nelson Valdez, pulling defenders out of the centre. Ortigotha. Too high, ultimately, for Enrique Vera. Well, the criticism of Paraguay throughout this tournament is that they haven't played good enough football going forward, and they can't string the passes together, and it is undoubtedly their efficiency and organisation which has got them as far as they've got, and their ability to take a penalty. They need something a little bit extra in the attacking third, with an hour still remaining.
Makes it surprising why Barrios isn't on the field. He's led the line quite well. He's trying to have Valdez in support of him. Gone for something different. I'm sure it won't be too long into the second half if the score is the same, that Barrios, if he's not injured, will come on.
Another free kick given away and another yellow card brandished by the referee. That's 4 now. 3 of them the Uruguayans. Maxi Pereira, the latest recipient.
Yeah, he started to lift his leg up. He just took it away. But once Riveros was going to get in behind him, there's always going to be problems for the right back. He's now under pressure, along with Ceres, the left back.
Suarez goal on 12 minutes, the difference between the two sides. Deserved lead for Uruguay. Could have had a penalty in the opening minute or so. And De Silva climbing high. Caught Gonzalez, the Lazio man, on the top of the head.
That's terrible from Gonzalez. He was looking to get De Silva in trouble there. Good header from De Silva as well.
Very congested central midfield area with Paraguay playing so narrow. There is De Silva. Out on by Vera. Ceballos looking for Valdez. Turned into trouble instead. Suarez goes down again. Victor Cáceres in possession. Suarez waved up by the referee. He's got his hands full tonight.
He's going to lose his head here, Suarez. There's one criticism of him. We saw it in the first half against Peru. Moaning and groaning at everybody, particularly the referee. And some of his own teammates.
He does have an unenviable disciplinary record, Luis Suarez. It's a lovely ball through here, though. An opportunity for Diego Forlan to end his long international goal-scoring drought. But he couldn't take it to double Uruguay's lead and make it all but unassailable.
Well, we can say everything we like about Suarez and his disciplinary record, but this is great play. Turns, sees the run of Forlan. Forlan takes a good first touch, and it just opened up the goal for him, but once again, Villar was there. Good goalkeeping, he came out quickly. Also, Pires did well to get round on the cover.
Uruguay win their 6th corner, courtesy of Paulo de Silva.
That was brilliant forward play, wasn't it, from Suarez? Turning on the halfway line, seeing his teammate make the forward run. Waited the pass perfectly.
When he was at Ajax, his goal-scoring record was extraordinary. 111 goals in about 150 games. But countless assists as well. His ability to provide goals, notably for Huntelaar, absolutely crucial. The outswinging corner, De Silva just caught underneath the flight of it. Cleared out as far as Gonzalez. Hit and hope ball over his shoulder to try and keep the momentum in the Uruguay attack. Mopped over the back by Arevalo for Uruguay. Suarez again.
It's amazing strength, wasn't it, against De Silva? Who's he running at now? Waving his arms around.
Riveros, who was down hurt for a bit, back on his feet quickly enough to keep the ball in play, and then sliding challenge from Alvaro Pereira.
It's going to be difficult to know who's play acting and who is generally hurt as this game wears on. Having seen your limp after your operation, I think you should know more than most.
No, I wasn't play acting, I can assure you. Ortigoza. Pires. Alvaro Pereira putting the ball out of play. He plays his club football for Porto as a left-back. But ordinarily used in this role, slightly more advanced on the left-hand side of midfield. He's playing for Uruguay, but he does clearly have that defensive capability.
As I said in the semi-final against Peru, he almost played as a left wing-back, but was quite often in defensive positions.
Valdez. Well to get the cross in. The necessary quality. Suarez. Real talent on the counter-attack, Uruguay, so they'll be more than happy just to try to a certain extent to soak up this Paraguayan pressure and then break quickly.
The difference between the front players for Uruguay and the front players for Paraguay. When the ball comes into Suarez, he's holding it up, he's linking up the play, he's getting good support. Valdez and Ceballos are really struggling to keep hold of the ball.
Forlan preparing to pull the trigger. It's a very intelligent header from Gonzalez, and Suarez has found a way through again, but it's only the side netting this time.
Once again, great turn. Almost tries to nutmeg Veron when it comes to him here. There's the little nutmeg, actually goes through, gets the other side. The goalkeeper get a touch. I thought he might have just got a touch with his left hand. Wasn't the case.
Pereira. Suarez's willingness to chase lost causes. Keeps the ball in play for Uruguay. Back here for Pereira. And Forlan!
Once again, link-up play from Suarez is good out on that right-hand side. And because he's taken on Veron a couple of times, now Veron doesn't want to go and tackle him. He just drops off, he lets him pass it. Good run from the fullback, Pereira. Watch the movement at the far post. He just doesn't get hold of it, does he? Diego Forlan, when it comes across, comes off his shin.
He's scored only one goal in his last 26 games for club and country. Diego Forlan has netted against Paraguay in the past in a World Cup qualifier a couple of years ago.
And Suarez showing he's got a great awareness of how the defence are lined up. Knew there was space out on that right-hand side. Paraguay's left back just high up the field.
One of the real qualities of Suarez, because he played in all three positions across the forward line for Ajax in his time in Amsterdam, he can just drift and take up positions and instinctively knows the shape of what he's going to be facing. Cáceres, the Sevilla defender, bringing the ball forward. Now Arevalo. Work wide for Pereira. This is Maxi Pereira of Benfica. Almost managed to thread it through for Suarez. Ortigoza. Lugano standing firm to good effect. Suarez buys the corner off Veron. For the first time you see the little green dot on Luis Suarez. Plenty of supporters have obviously got laser pens here at the Monumental. Doing their best to distract the opposition.
The early stages of this game, Uruguay looked very dangerous from set plays. Lugano with a good header. Coates is dangerous. Lugano's been excellent throughout this first half, the captain of Uruguay.
He's looking with intent. Number 2 right on the edge of the penalty areas. Forlan plays it in, but only hits Vera. Back out for Pereira. Worth an effort through a crowded penalty area.
Since those first couple of corners from Forlan haven't been quite so good. Got the aerial supremacy, get it right into the danger area.
Luis Suarez just being asked to leave the field temporarily. Undergo some quick repairs, he'll be back on. Uruguay temporarily down to 10 men. Cáceres in possession. Paraguay unbeaten in their last 9 matches coming into this game, although 7 of those 9 have been drawn. Actually without a win in 6 matches. They can of course become the first nation ever to get through 5 games of a major tournament without a victory and reach the final. That's of any major international tournament, not just the Copa America. Never been done in the European Championships or the World Cup to such a large extent. This is a ground that holds happy memories for them. They beat Chile in a playoff here at the Monumental back in 1979 to last lift the trophy. They've got plenty of work to do if they're to maintain their unbeaten record and get their hands on the 2011 version. Nobody can deny that Uruguay deserve their advantage. Now here's Arevalo. Rolls it 3 feet. Forlan! 2-0! A rare defensive error from the Paraguay back line. Seized upon by Arevalo. Converted by Forlan. Delight for Uruguay, who've just taken a massive step towards winning the 2011 Copa America.
Good midfield play from Arevalo. That's what he does well. He makes interceptions. He's aware of what other players are trying to do. There's the square pass. He comes and pitches it off Ortigoza, who's had an absolute nightmare in this first half. It's beautifully teed up for Diego Forlan, and all he's concentrated on here is hitting through the back of the ball. He gets his laces on it, he strikes it perfectly. Villar doesn't even dive. That's all about the midfield player, Arevalo, winning the ball back in a dangerous position off the out of form Ortigoza.
Diego Forlan's first goal in 13 internationals. He ends his longest ever goal drought for La Celeste at the perfect time. 2-0 to Uruguay before half-time. And you sense that the parties are already starting in Montevideo. Paraguay looking for a way back. The cross that was just too high for Valdez. Vera. It's Marcos that had the shot, which is dealt with by the Uruguayan back line, and an opportunity for them to bring it away now. Perez was the target of the through ball, and he's going to get there eventually. And wins the corner. Reward for some very impressive work rate.
That shows the desire of the Uruguayan players. And for me, there's only one way that Paraguay can get back into the game, and that's if Uruguay have a player sent off. They've got 3 bookings in the side. They've got to be very careful, but this is good play from Perez. Just about keeps it in. Ball's not all over the line. Wins his team a corner.
Variation on the theme this time as it's chipped in by Pereira. Lugano with the header. Suarez. Gonzalez. And lucky touch coming off Marcos. Out of play for another corner, which is the 9th of this first half for Tabarez's Uruguay.
Well worked down that left-hand side. Suarez again involved. Timing of the run was excellent from Gonzalez. He's trying to lift it to the back post, but none of the centre-halves had stayed up.
Defensive header from Valdez. Back from Forlan. Turned clear by Paris. The result of that is a Uruguayan throw as we enter stoppage time at the end of the first half. There will be a little bit of time to be added on. A couple of minutes.
Just been the scoreline. Uruguay have been far better than Paraguay right from the first kick. They sort of certainly had a penalty, and maybe Ortigoza sent off. They've been dominant. They've pressed high up the field. They've played some really good attacking football. They've had the best player on the field in Suarez, the centre forward. Here's the second goal. Great interception from Ravelo, and there's the finish. Never in question when this ball's rolled to him. Brilliant technique to strike through the back of the ball. Ortigoza, the man who gave it away. His awareness just hasn't been there today, Ortigoza.
Forlan scoring his 30th international goal. Just one short now of Hector Scaroni's all-time goal-scoring record for Uruguay. Cáceres. Ravelo again, dispossessing Ortigoza. Not in nearly such a potent area this time. Forlan looks for the crossfield ball and has picked out Suarez quite superbly. Excellent third-man run coming here from Pereira. Here's Alvaro Pereira. Suarez couldn't generate enough power.
Oh, very nearly switched play from one side of the field to that. Already gone one way. That diagonal pass to Suarez that set everything up. He made the run into the danger area. Who was just slightly behind him. But they've been totally dominant, Uruguay. It's been an excellent first half performance from them. And particularly this man.
Oscar Tabarez's men thoroughly merit the first half advantage that's been given to them by both Luis Suarez and Diego Forlan. The Uruguayan supporters jumping up and down in delight. Uruguay very comfortable. We're going to have to see something from Paraguay that we haven't really seen in the tournament so far if they're to win for the first time since the 70s. Uruguay 2 up at half-time.
Away by the hands of Nestor Ortigoza, but there was no stopping Uruguay when Luis Suarez was able to put them ahead, albeit with the help of a deflection of Dario Veron on the inside of a post. Uruguay dominant throughout the opening half. They got a second goal just before the interval as well through Diego Forlan. It's looking good for the Celeste in the Monumental in Buenos Aires, but at half-time it's Uruguay 2, Paraguay 0.
How they're going to get back into the game unless Uruguay get a player sent off. With 3 bookings, there's every possibility that could happen.
I think that you and I both feel that there is huge potential for at least 1 red card in the second half to be shown to somebody.
Well, I think Paraguay know they're being beaten in a football sense. They might try and play act a little bit. They might try and rile Uruguay into making a reckless challenge or a bit of retribution. And that's their only real hope to get back into the game, unless they play a more direct style of play and put this back 4 of Uruguay under a bit of pressure, although Lugano and Coates have also been excellent.
"45 minutes of work left to do as far as Uruguay are concerned. Saw off Argentina in the quarterfinals. Hardest game so far. Peru in the semi-finals constituted their biggest victory of the tournament so far, but another goal for Uruguay in this final would make this their biggest win of the tournament itself. from here on in. They would settle for a 2-1 victory. You can guarantee that, just to get their hands on the silverware for the first time since 1995. And most importantly for them, they would usurp Argentina, with whom they currently hold the record for the most number of Copa America titles.
Certainly been a good couple of years for Uruguayan football. The semi-finals of the World Cup last year. The under-17s lost to Mexico in Mexico in the under-17 World Cup. Every chance of winning the Copa America.
"45 minutes for Paraguay to produce something special. A nation that haven't scored a goal in more than 5 hours of play now. They need 2 in the next 45 minutes, even to book another period of extra time. That has been their main avenue of success so far. They have to provide a much more enterprising attacking display in this second half if they're to maintain their hopes of a first Copa America title since 1979. Néstor Muslera, the Uruguayan goalkeeper, has had precious little to do. Well, spent the first 45 minutes thinking about his transfer on Thursday from Lazio to Galatasaray. He's had nothing to worry about in terms of Paraguayan pressure. Confirmation on the two teams just coming through at the bottom of your screen. Uruguay making just 1 change with Diego Perez back in the side. Paraguay making 4 changes. And perhaps that lack of cohesion has shown. First contribution of the danger man in the second half to win a free kick.
And a mixed bag from Forlan. These set plays, first couple of corners were brilliant. There's the push from Veron. Veron looked more comfortable when he was playing at right back in the last couple of games, and he's done at centre half tonight.
Forlan's free kick. Header away by Valdez. And Ceballos. And not too many Paraguayan bodies forward, which made it easy for Uruguay to defend. The boot was raised by both Valdez and Forlan. The referee ultimately gives the throw Uruguay's way.
He hasn't been effective, has he, Valdez? He's worked hard, but really hasn't been able to get into the game at all. Whether it be out on a left wing position or as a second centre forward. There's that pressing again from Arevalo.
Forlan, Arevalo. And Pereira dived into the challenge. Gonzalez back on his feet very quickly after the free kick wasn't awarded his way. Perez plays his club football these days in Italy with Bologna. He's the man that went down, just holding that right shoulder. It was an awkward fall rather than anything else.
He's gone about his job effectively and quietly in this game, playing alongside Arevalo in that midfield area. Gonzalez pushing a bit wider and a bit higher up the field.
Very few players in history have more Copa America experience than Diego Perez. The 20th Copa America tie for him tonight. Joint 5th most capped Uruguayan of all time. Valdez just raising his hands. He tried to extricate the ball from the grip of Gonzalez.
There's the body check from Perez. Didn't really need to do that.
Ceballos has been playing up front, but he is the set-piece specialist, so a situation like this, he comes deep. Cáceres with the header, but there was an offside flag up against him.
That wasn't well worked at all, was it? Played it square. Cáceres came out to this left-hand side, just about offside.
Five minutes into the second half, and there's no real sign of this Paraguayan fight back. Stuffing knocked out of them with a second goal just before half-time from Diego Forlan. Ceballos guiding back for Ortigoza. Veron. Stumble from Cáceres. Seized upon initially by Pereira and then by Suarez. Maricos. Nice crossfield ball for Pires. Never accused Paraguay of having too much invention around the final third. Ceballos going to ground. Lugano far from happy. And thought that he made the most of it.
Yes, the follow through from Lugano. He was trying to kick the ball, which again, thinks the ball's going to bounce. He tries to have a lash and it actually misses it. His follow through catches Ceballos. Ceballos never really had control of the ball. Not sure what Lugano's saying. He certainly didn't dive, did he?
Valdez. Ortigoza. Again, it was the fullback Pires who was supplying the only width. You think that there's this situation, clear sign that Estigarribia, for instance, could be brought on to try and provide some flair for Paraguay.
Well, he was the one player against the Brazilians that really did cause problems. Dani Alves was dropped after that game because he had such a hard time from Estigarribia. Maicon didn't do much better against him either in the second game.
Veron. And Suarez has won it back. Forlan's in the centre. This for 3-0. Pull back just behind Forlan. Veron with an important touch in the nick of time.
Once again, Suarez winning the ball back, showing great effort and enthusiasm. There he is. Likes his little moan. There's the body strength. Could have actually played this ball a little bit earlier. Instead he took another touch. It wasn't a great cross. Veron just got back and got his toe on it. I don't think what sort of mood he'd be in if he was playing badly.
Well, perhaps Otman Bakal can tell you. He was the player on the receiving end of a bite from Luis Suarez in what turned out to be his last Eredivisie match. 8-game ban on the way of the Uruguayan. Come Paraguay with Maricos.
It was wasted from Maricos. They had worked the ball nicely out to this left-hand side. They had an overload. Didn't make the most of the cross.
Maricos again. Ortigoza. Good ball for Valdez! So unlucky. Magnificent attempt out of nothing for Paraguay. And the potential avenue back into the game has just been shut. And a little bit of luck from Uruguay as it comes off the underside of the bar and to safety.
It was perfect technique. And for once, Ortigoza in this game provided the excellent pass. Just lifted it into the space between the fullback and the centre half. Valdez struck it perfectly, didn't he? It's better from Paraguay. Can they keep the ball in this half? They've got to play a high pressing game. They've got to get the ball from back to front quickly and win the knockdowns. Won't be pretty. They've got to get themselves back into this game.
Well, they're in their best unbeaten run for 10 years, Paraguay, but that will count for nothing unless they can provide a wholesale improvement in this second half. And that would have been a lifeline for them had that effort from Valdez gone in. We'll see it again in a moment. Gordigotha rescuing a lost cause there. And ultimately there's a push from Vera.
Here's that chance again. Good combination play, little lift over Lugano. He makes the perfect run. Does the goalkeeper get a touch? I think he does. It's a great save from Muslera. On the volley, probably it's his shin. There's the touch, that was going in. Oh, we didn't give him credit, did we? Real time.
Fantastic stop from Néstor Muslera. Been at the heart of several of Uruguay's best moments over the last 18 months or so. Saved a couple of penalties in that World Cup shootout win against Ghana, and a Carlos Tevez penalty the other night against Argentina. Ten minutes into the second half, Uruguay still leading 2-0, but Paraguay have come closer than ever before to halving that deficit. Very optimistic long-range effort from Pires, particularly with his goal-scoring record. Paraguay are going to have to supply something much more constructive than that if they're going to find a way back into the game.
Here's that first goal. It's just a kick forward. It actually finds Suarez off the leg of Ortigotha, but he takes it perfectly. And here's the second. Nice little rolled pass. Forlan to drive through the ball. Perfect strike.
Gonzalez. And Perez winning the free kick. The ball's then clattered into his face. Yellow card is shown to Vera. That's for the initial challenge. I don't know how intentional the follow-up was.
I think very intentional from Ortigotha. Perez, a little change of direction. He knew exactly what he was doing, Ortigotha. It's Vera that's booked for the challenge.
Vera's been a linchpin of this Paraguayan side. He's winning his 51st cap tonight, only 4.5 years after he made his debut. But as we saw in the quarter-final, particularly against Brazil, disciplinary record is poor. He walked the yellow card tightrope that night and was really teetering. Lucky not to get a second yellow card before eventually being substituted by Coach Martino to protect him. Perez with the throw. Suarez trying to turn. And claiming that the last touch came from a Paraguayan. Easy to smile about a decision you don't agree with when you're 2-0 up. Cáceres.
At times the passing's still too short from Paraguay, inviting pressure.
Still no real sign of a change either, with almost an hour gone. An excellent tackle on the referee by Gonzalez. From behind as well. Wide from Riveros. Pires again invited forward down that right-hand side. Riveros had continued his run. Lugano with an important header away and helped further clear by Arevalo. Forlan trying to turn in possession. Foul by Victor Cáceres, and the free kick goes to Uruguay.
Good defending from Lugano. He did finally get across in Paraguay. Done it really well. He's been outstanding throughout the tournament, Uruguayan captain.
Had a very good World Cup as well. Uruguay, of course, getting to the semi-finals of that competition. Here's Forlan. And now Suarez with an opportunity, but the whistle has gone. Much to the relief of Veron. The ref thought that he was pushed.
Oh, very, very dangerous. There's the clip on the heels. Ferreira just does clip him. Very dangerous, trying to dribble out to the back. Everyone wants to see teams play out from the back and play controlled football. There's a difference between playing out from the back and dribbling out from the back. I don't think at the moment Paraguay need to be playing. They need to get the ball into the front areas quickly, get midfield players in much closer support to the front players. Get Valdez winning balls in the air. And
challenged by Vera on Alvaro Pereira. Vera, of course, has just been booked, but the referee didn't think there was anything wrong with that. Ray Velo's had an excellent game, winning it back. This is only Paraguay's second final in 48 years. And a desperate record in losing a succession of quarter-finals over the last 20 years or so. And they've got through to the final. They haven't done themselves justice tonight, or some cynics would say they have done themselves justice tonight, and that was part of the problem. Here's Veron. Uruguay poised to make a change. Edison Cavani will be coming on in a moment. Good ball in towards the near post. What a chance. They can't afford to be as profligate in front of goal. Riveros making the run, which hadn't been picked up. He couldn't get the touch to deflect it past Muslera. And that should have been Paraguay back in the game.
what a chance that was. Uruguay had just gone to sleep. Pires it was down that right-hand side. Riveros just made no contact with it.
This is better from Leao Biroca. Pires. Pereira.
They're now trying to play the game much higher up the field. Which again, it's a good little ball over the top from that man Ortigoza. The two centre-halves don't see it at all. They're looking towards the edge of the box, but the run came from behind them. And they have just got a touch, and Muslera made a good save.
The Uruguayan change sees the withdrawal of Alvaro Pereira. It's Edison Cavani who's going to be coming on. Cavani, the prolific Napoli striker, hasn't played since he picked up an injury to his right knee against Chile. Fresh from an extraordinary campaign for Napoli, in which he scored 33 goals, which was a club record. So Cavani on, which might herald a slight change in Paraguayan formation, Uruguayan formation, I beg your pardon.
Looks like he's going to play out on the right-hand side. Gonzalez has gone out to that left-hand side. We'll see a couple of substitutions for Paraguay as well.
Not before time. It's Esti Faribia and Hernan Perez who are coming on. The fact that Perez is getting the nod ahead of Barrios surely means that Barrios is injured.
Goes to the ground far too easily, Veros.
Cáceres, one of the players that's making way. Suarez trying to bring it forward again. Cavani teasing it over the top. Suarez making life difficult for Da Silva. Hernan Perez has come on to replace Enrique Vera. Perez played for Villarreal's second string in the Spanish second division last season. Estigarribia on to replace Victor Cáceres. Estigarribia, a left winger who has been linked with a move to Rangers.
Well, he's certainly got pace, Estigarribia. Run with the ball. Got one or two tricks as well. It's Gonzalez who switched out to that left-hand side now. Number 20. Allowing Cavani to come to this right-hand side for Uruguay. Not sure that's the best position for Cavani.
An embarrassment of riches really up front for them. Regular devotees of our Serie A coverage will know just how potent and prolific a striker Cavani can be. Magnificent eye for goal. They're almost wasted in this role that he's in here on the right-hand side of midfield. He's just involved there trying to close down Marcos. Challenged by Coates, one of the unsung heroes of this Copa America campaign for Uruguay. Throw from Marcos. Players getting each other's way, if anything. Ortigosa with the ball back in, knocked away by Coates. Perez. Good turn to get the better of Cáceres, and he's won the corner.
That's more inventive from them. Perez doing well. Just changing direction, threatens to cross here with his right foot, drags it onto his left, then goes again. Just gets a block. Ceres.
Midway through the second half. Veron. Perez ball in, away by Suarez. And Arevalo pulled to the ground by Marcos, and knew the danger of letting Uruguay continue to break quickly. Good one to take for the team.
He just clips the heels. Arevalo. He's a little fighter in that midfield area. Number 17.
This Paraguayan team reminiscent in many ways of, as the offside flag comes up there against Suarez, of Greece when they won the 2004 European Championships.
I'd say Greece had a little bit more athleticism, had a better game plan. And they did look dangerous, particularly at set plays. Paraguay haven't looked dangerous at all here today. Just starting to get back in the game here.
Ortigosa. Pires. Better ball in. Can they turn to the push? Referee says no. It was a dive.
He's actually given the foul for handball there, because as he fell to the ground, he put his hand on the ball. Ceballos, watching the ball gets played in. Actually does well to get it under control. And there he handballs it. Was there a push from Coates? There's a little shove, but I think he goes down far too easily. Silly challenge though from Coates. As soon as you put your hands into the back of a front player in the box, the referee can certainly have the right to give a penalty. He just made too much of it, Ceballos.
Well, Diego Perez has certainly put a shift in, and this is 20th Copa America international. And he makes way, Uruguay's second change, and he will be replaced by Sebastian Eguren, defensive midfielder who made his debut back in the 2001 Copa America. 42nd cap for him tonight, and the last 16 have been as a substitute.
What are Paraguay doing now? They can't win the game from back there. Yeah, just a straight swap. Perez going off. There again coming on. You're in. Hard-working midfield player.
Well, the Uruguayan supporters certainly believing now that their fate is victory. The last time that the final was in Buenos Aires, incidentally, back in 1987, it was Uruguay who were victorious. They beat Chile that time by a goal to nil. Third goal kills Paraguay off surely. Forlan's ball in, looking for Cavani's near post flick. Still seems to be an overwhelming lack of urgency from Paraguay, bearing in mind the situation of the game. Gonzalez with the defending. Not as effective as it might have been. Nor was the pass forward for Valdez.
He's shown a bit of life, this Perez, since he's been on, winning the ball back there, coming inside Arevalo. See what pass he's looking for. It's a well-timed run from Valdez. Just overhit the pass. There wasn't really enough room to play it in behind the back four there. Concerned about time wasting it. It's Paraguay that needs to get on with the game and get the ball forward and get their midfield players closer to Valdez. Ceballos.
It could be argued that Paraguay guilty of time wasting when the game was still 0-0, even in the first 10 minutes. Hoisted by their own petard here.
So it's their free, and they're now gone across the pitch into their left back. They could have got the ball forward a lot earlier than that. In the end, it's been wasted. Good header, Lugano.
Suarez. There's a lovely reverse ball. And Forlan's free if Cavani can find it. He's trying to tee it up instead. Another excellent save from Villar. And somehow Paraguay can walk the ball out of harm's way inside the penalty area. But Suarez's persistence wins it back. And he'll end up getting a corner with a vital stop from Villar.
Well, it was Eguren who made the run into the box. Cavani was trying to find Diego Forlan and totally mishit it. Takes a deflection. It's going into one side of the goal. Villar with another good save. He's proved himself to be a really good goalkeeper throughout this tournament. Just got it away from the danger area.
And after 9 corners in the first half, this is Uruguay's first of this second period. Outswinger from Forlan. coach that came to meet it. Back it comes from Arevalo. Away by Pires. Pereira. Eguren. And Suarez. Excellent challenge on him. Magnificent play by Paulo da Silva, but the danger's still not clear yet, and ultimately it's another corner.
Yeah. Suarez just trying to get to the byline. That's a crunching tackle. Good sliding tackle. And Pereira does really well. He's enjoying that walk over to take the corner. Diego Forlan in front of the Uruguayan supporters.
Cavani making the run in towards the near post. I think Lugano was the target that time of Forlan's delivery. Lovely reverse ball. Gonzalez, Cavani. And VR takes control. It was a collision inside the 6-yard box. Suarez going to ground, but he just had his eyes on the ball and fell over his opponent. And Forlan putting in a defensive shift to win it back.
Ball played down the side. Gonzalez. Certainly no foul here. See, Suarez wasn't even watching the ball. Suarez was trying to back into the goalkeeper at one point, but Riveros just made sure he couldn't. Even he didn't moan on that occasion.
So Paraguay will make the final change, and it's a strange one. Lucas Barrios coming on. Strange that they've left it as late as they have, unless there has been a latent injury. And Barrios indeed fit enough only to play the last 15 minutes. He replaces the ineffective Ceballos.
Either that or he's had a real row with the manager. It does seem strange.
Paulo Guerrero of Peru is currently leading the standings in the Golden Boot for the tournament with 5, and that was thanks to his hat-trick in the 3rd and 4th place playoff for Peru against Venezuela. Goal in the last 13 minutes here for Suarez will see him draw level at the top of the individual goal-scoring charts. Perez. Maricos. Arevalo again, just using good upper body strength, beating Estigarribia. Suarez gambling on a defensive header from Veron. Ortigotha. Now Perez. He's looked lively in his couple of cameo appearances in this tournament. Paulo da Silva. Pires. Valdez. And Cavani coming all the way back to cover. It's Maricos. He's got away from Cavani. Maricos.
You see one of the worst tackles you'll ever see here from Cavani. She heads the ball down. Comes out. Oops, I don't really want to tackle there. If that had gone in, I don't think some of the Uruguayan players would have been too pleased with their substitute. He hasn't had a good game, Maricos. Been beaten in defensive areas. He also hasn't supplied any crosses or delivered good balls into the front players.
Not got a good record against Uruguay. He was sent off against them in the Under-20 World Cup a good few years ago now. Paraguay have a corner, and if they were to pull one back here, it would make for a much more thrilling last 10 minutes than should be necessary as far as Uruguay are concerned. It feels as though they should have this long since wrapped up. Missed kick from Maricos. Came on his weaker right foot and it showed. Now an opportunity for Uruguay to bring the ball clear. Gonzalez for Cavani. Trying to get away from Perez. Forlands in the centre as Cavani goes down. The referee is completely disinterested.
Yeah, he threw himself to the ground there, Cavani. He realised he hadn't got good possession of the ball.
Back from Riveros, 10 minutes to go. Maricos, Estigarribia. Hasn't really made too much impact since coming on as a substitute.
No one coming round the back. They had 3 players in the box. It wasn't a good cross from Estigarribia. Despite us giving him quite a good build-up before the game, really hasn't affected it at all since he's been on.
Barrel-chested Ortigoza. Piris. And a play for a Paraguay throw. Revelo just picking up a knock to the ankle. They've still got 1 change left that they can make, Uruguay. Paraguay have made all 3 of theirs. Perez flicking it forward towards Barrios. Just unable to turn.
That could have been his moment. It was a good header back into the danger area. Here's the chance for Cavani. Diagonal ball. Not a good first touch. Now he's trying to get away from Perez. Yes, there was an arm from Perez. He was falling before the arm came across. Quite right, the referee let that one go.
There haven't been too many goals in Paraguay's games throughout the tournament, but there have been, as a percentage, quite a high number of late ones. Generally, they've been conceding them rather than scoring them, but there have been a couple of matches in which there have been dramatic late action, notably the game against Venezuela. That goes down as a rare shot on target from Valdez. Just about the first save Muslera's had to make. The one he tipped on the bar.
That was a good effort from Valdez. Not the final shot, but he did well just to buy himself a bit of room. A bit like Suarez in the first half. Threatened to play it with 1 foot, just dragged it inside. But I think you've got to question Paraguay's attitude towards the game. Suddenly, they're starting to play with a bit more purpose, but they've left it till the 80th minute. Start to put some pressure, start to get the ball forward, start to get crosses into the box. It's been far too easy for Uruguay to defend their lead. Well, that's why he wasn't starting the game. That's exactly why he wasn't starting the game, Barrios. He was holding obviously an injury to his hamstring, a slight tweak, but now it's gone completely. Chasing that ball. There it goes. There's our answer.
Which will, of course, have ramifications for Borussia Dortmund's Bundesliga campaign. They start a week on Friday. That you can see live on ESPN. I don't think Barrios is going to be fit for that one.
I'm sure the German club will be asking the Paraguay Football Association exactly why he was sent on. If he had a hamstring problem, he shouldn't have been playing.
Yeah, he's lasted only 7 minutes.
Oh, that's a bad one. That's not a strain, that's a tear of some sort.
So Paraguay will play the final 6 minutes of this game, down to 10 men, because they've made all 3 substitutions. And it can't replace Lucas Barrios. 2 goals down and a man down. The size of the miracle that they need is just magnified. Here's Valdez. Handball. A yellow card for Coates.
Valdez has started to show what he's capable of here. Good chest control. He's going to take it the other side of Coates. Hits him on the top of the arm. Not sure he deserves to get a booking. I don't think it was that intentional.
So what can the 10 men do from here? Just about everybody forward. The defensive header came from Suarez. They will look to try and break quickly. Very unorthodox defending from Ortigotho. He's got away with it. Pires with the long diagonal. Away by Cáceres.
Sorry, there was a chance there for Gonzalez up against Ortigotha. He'd have had half the field to run into, but Ortigotha fell to the ground, blocked his path, did everything he could. Stop Gonzalez going past him.
Ecstatic scenes amongst the Uruguayan supporters. Despite the fact that they were pretty overwhelming favourites coming into this game, I'm sure been much more routine than they anticipated. Might have been a different story, but for an excellent Muslera save to deny Valdez, and goes down as a bad miss, I suppose, from Riveros about an hour in. Neither of those gone, and it could have been different, but Uruguay will feel that they thoroughly deserve to be 2 goals up at this very late stage of the game.
And I've got to say, I think Uruguay in the second half have played within themselves. They realise that Paraguay are going to struggle to break them down. They just dropped that little bit deeper. Allowed Paraguay to attack them, but without any real purpose. And the 2 centre-halves have been excellent, Lugano and Coates.
Pires with the ball inside the penalty area. Off the top of Maxi Pereira's head. And he's done even better because he's managed to prevent the corner. Well, at least he did initially.
The 10 men of Paraguay got themselves a set play. Really looked threatening at set plays. Valdez, you'd expect to try and get his head on the ball.
Lugano just being spoken to by the referee, and they will make their final change. It's Diego Godin, the veteran centre-half from Atletico Madrid, who's going to come on to replace Cáceres. I say veteran in terms of the number of caps that he's won, not in terms of age. So another centre-half on. As Estigarribia plays it in, and Muslera with a slightly unorthodox punch gets it clear for another corner.
Went over the top of one of his own players. Certainly didn't get the ball at its highest point.
Another Estigarribia corner, much deeper this time. Away by Cavani. Scuff shot from Perez. Now Cavani with Suarez and Forlan goal side of him. Oh, what a touch that is from Suarez for Forlan! A quite majestic goal in the final minute of the 2011 Copa America. The trophy is going back to Montevideo. Uruguay are the South American champions, and they've wrapped it up with the most exquisite counter-attacking goal that you could wish to see.
And that's why Uruguay are going to win the Copa America, because they've got 2 players up front. They're on a different level to most of the players in this tournament in front areas. Starts off counter-attacking football at its best. Cavani, he sees the danger. You see Suarez times his header perfectly. He's certainly onside Forlan. The goalkeeper tries to come out and he finishes it expertly, rolling it into the far corner. But Suarez, Cavani and also Forlan, 3 brilliant players, all combining.
And it's an historic goal from a personal point of view for Diego Forlan as well, as he ties Hector Scaroni's all-time goal-scoring record for his country. His 31st goal for Uruguay, and he might have come into this game in an international goal drought, but he scored twice, once in each half, as Uruguay lead 3-0. And this will be as emphatic a victory that any side has pulled off in the final of the Copa America since it became a single final, or one-legged match back in the 1980s. Hardly any time to be added on, no need for any really. The party can start here, because Uruguay are the South American champions. They've won the Copa America for the first time since 1995, and with it they lift the famous trophy for a 15th time, which makes them the most successful nation in South American football in history.
Well, they thoroughly deserved it. They started right from the beginning of the game, pressing Paraguay. They totally outplayed them, and they thoroughly deserved their victory. It could have been more. It's been a good tournament for them, and they made it count in the final.
Delight for Oscar Tabarez, beaten in the 1989 final, but not 22 years on in 2011. Uruguay are the champions, beating Paraguay by 3-0 in the final. And we'll be back to see them lift the trophy very soon here on ESPN. The players jubilant, as you would expect, frustrated in the World Cup last year when they were beaten in the semi-finals, but they went 2 better in the Copa America in 2011. A goal from Suarez, 2 from Forlan, 3-0 Uruguay, who've won the Copa America.
Them as a football nation, they are an extraordinary group of players. This Tabarez has been absolutely brilliant. The last 12 months has been back to the glory years in many respects. They haven't won this competition since 1995. They've rediscovered and refound the glory, but they are one nation in the world of football who are simply amazing. Paraguay in the second half, I have to say, had a really fantastic half, and they had to push, they had to try and get 2 goals, but they did very well, and they really should have scored at least 1. But they were never going to win the game, because when Uruguay are up 2-0, all of South America knows, and psychologically so too do the Paraguayan players on the field, that when Uruguay have the lead, whether it's 1, 2 or more, they are extremely difficult to beat, because the mental strength of this nation is something amazing.
Just a reflection of the joy for the players, Trilla. You know, Diego Forlan's been the assist king before this match, hadn't scored in the tournament. What a sparkling display by him.
What a time to get a couple of goals, but I think his contribution has been there, and as any striker would know, you're judged on your goals, but certainly his contribution during the tournament with his set-up play, set pieces, just his involvement in creativity. And you can see the scenes. It's just such a tight unit. This team knows how to win. They know how to. They wouldn't have so many titles. A new record for them, 15th time they've won the Copa. And when you're talking about teams like Brazil and Argentina with all their quality, it's Uruguay with 3.5 million that have the most titles in the Copa America. It's just, we've said it so many times, but it's quite amazing. And when you have a look at the way that they play, and Foz has stressed it quite a number of times, they know what needs to be done. Even even though Paraguay came out and they were pressuring, you never really had the feeling that Uruguay were going to let it go. I know there was a few chances there, but they just always seem to know exactly what line they can, or how far they can go, and it's just amazing to watch them. I can't give them enough credit, and it's great to see that in a tournament where a lot of the favourites weren't able to produce their best, that a team like Uruguay, after such a good performance in the World Cup, have now backed it up with the Copa, and the coach Tavares again just has made the right decisions. I think the game against Argentina was the one game where you really said he earned his money, and he came out, and when they went down to 10 men in the second half.
Welcome back to Buenos Aires. You're joining us as we see scenes of the Uruguayan celebration. They've beaten Paraguay by 3-0 in the 2011 Copa America final, and they lift the trophy for the first time since 1995, when they beat Brazil on penalties. And Buenos Aires, in its first final since 1987, sees the same winners as it did back then a generation ago, as Uruguay win it, and they win it to overhaul Argentina's tally of 14 all-time Copa Americas, and of course fitting really that they've done it on Argentinian soil.
Well, they were outstanding today. They won the game in that first 20-25 minutes where they really pressurised Paraguay. They won the ball back early. They had the best two players on the field in Diego Forlan and Suarez, who caused problems all the way through the tournament. Their two centre-halves, Coates and Lugano led by example. When balls came in the box, they won every single header. They really were the outstanding side, and in midfield they worked really hard to close Paraguay down, and Paraguay never really got into the game.
Well, let's have a look.
Por este título para Uruguay, su visión de lo que fue esta victoria ante Paraguay en la gran final de la Copa América.
Muchísimas gracias, y por suerte conseguimos el objetivo, que era desde un principio llegar a la final, obtener el título, y por suerte este grupo se lo merecía desde que empezó un proceso muy largo, y creo que ya era hora de que Uruguay obtuviera un título y tuviera una alegría también, ¿no?
Teniendo en cuenta el rival que tenían enfrente y por tratarse de una final, ¿esperaban ganar por un marcador tan abultado?
No, sabíamos que Paraguay es un rival muy duro y que iba a ser muy complicado. Creo que lo importante fue que comenzamos muy bien desde el primer tiempo. Hicimos los 2 goles y creo que eso anímicamente para ellos fue muy difícil tratar de darlo vuelta, y en el segundo tiempo creo que en la hora ahí se liquidó el partido, ¿no?
Muchas gracias y felicitaciones.
Gracias a ustedes.
Bueno, Luis Suárez, yo creo que va a ser elegido jugador del torneo, pero bueno, eso me imagino que lo sabremos pronto. Y no sé qué estabais comentando de esta selección uruguaya, que entre otras cosas, no olvidemos, es un éxito tremendo, porque Uruguay fue semifinalista del Mundial, no estuvo tan lejos de llegar a la final. Recuerden aquel partido con Holanda.
Decidió un gol en fuera de juego,
sí,
de Holanda,
o sea,
sí.
Fue un partido y...
Two goals from Diego Forlan, which see him tie Scaroni on 31 goals for Uruguay, now the most prolific Uruguayan striker of all time, and fitting that he's broken the record or equaled the record with goals of consequence. Well, that is what it's all about. That trophy bought here in Buenos Aires by the South American Football Federation back in 1917 for 3,000 francs. 75 centimetres tall, solid silver on a wooden plinth, and it's about to be lifted for the 15th time by Uruguay. Let me tell you, when Arevalo shows pictures of this to his grandchildren, he's going to regret wearing that wig.
Diego, felicitaciones. Su visión de lo que fue el partido y el 15º
Impossible to overstate the
Uruguay
contribution of Diego Forlan, not just tonight but through the tournament as a whole, because although he hasn't really been scoring goals, so much more to his game than that, and 2 excellent finishes in this final.
He has a great understanding with Luis Suarez. Suarez will go wide at times, he'll make forward runs, and what Forlan does, he links up the play. He gets in between the midfield and Suarez. When Suarez goes wide, he then makes his forward runs, as he did for his goal. He's a very intelligent footballer, Diego Forlan, and he allows other players to play around him.
Forlan, the most capped Uruguayan of all time. And a word as well about Néstor Muslera. didn't have too much to do in this final, but one magnificent save to keep it at 2-0 about 8 minutes into the second half, when he just got his fingertips to a rising effort from Valdez that he tipped onto the bar. And he's had some very important moments throughout the tournament at large, particularly saving penalties.
Well, it's such a good save. We didn't even know he'd saved it at the time. It was a good strike from Valdez, who had just been getting himself back into the game. He just tipped it onto the bar. That would definitely have been a goal. I think every player's worked hard for Uruguay. When you look through the team, Garno, Copes, the centre, both Pereiras in the full-back areas have got forward and done well, particularly Maxi Pereira in this game. Gonzalez in midfield. And of course, Perez.
Well, the losing medals are being dished out by Sepp Blatter. I have to ask you, bearing in mind the way that Paraguay have approached this tournament, they haven't won a single game in the tournament. Is it a victory for football that Uruguay have won this tonight?
I think you're right. I have seen Paraguay play well in the tournament, particularly against Brazil. In the first game against Brazil, they actually took the game for the first 20 minutes to Brazil. They pressed them high up the field. They had 1 or 2 chances, and I thought they were excellent in that game, but that was the best they played, and they weren't able to replicate that in the second game against Brazil, and they certainly weren't able to replicate it in the following games. I think they missed Santa Cruz, who obviously got injured quite early in the tournament. Although he's not as athletic as he once was, he's provided a little bit of quality in front areas. They based their game around working hard, being organised. There's nothing wrong with that, but they just didn't have the flair up the other end to create enough chances.
Perhaps a little bit surprising when you consider the likes of Lucas Barrios up front. I know Santa Cruz has been injured, but it was the workmanlike, perhaps one-paced midfield, very organised, as you say, great off the ball, but just didn't really have the attacking capabilities to be able to provide for Barrios. And of course, the sad end to the tournament for him, thrown on as a late sub today when clearly he wasn't fit, and his hamstring going after 6 or 7 minutes and going off, and he's going to be out for some time, you would imagine.
I'd imagine so, and you were quite right. It's the midfield that did so well in some of the games, but they were set up to play against teams that wanted to pass it through midfield. At times today, Uruguay bypassed that midfield and went into Suarez, and Suarez really held the ball up well, brought Diego Forlan into it. Gonzalez made forward runs, and they got the ball into wide areas as well, with the 2 Pereiras coming forward from fullback. It was a good all-round performance from Uruguay, and was the right tactics to play against Paraguay today.
And can they build from this? They got through to the semi-finals of the last World Cup. They've won a tournament in which they've played consistently well. Brazil and Argentina didn't. So can Uruguay become the dominant force of South American football on a consistent basis?
Well, they've got to keep the front 2 fit. The front 2 are the difference between them being a good side and being a very good side. If Suarez doesn't play well, and the same with Forlan, if they don't play well, they're just an average side. But with those 2 in the team, it makes them a good side, and that's what they've proved throughout this tournament.
And of course, looking more long-term, Diego Forlan's 32 now, but they do have Edison Cavani, just 24. The partnership with Suarez, another 24-year-old that could really come to fruition over the years to come. Well, Justo Villar is certainly a Paraguayan who's come out with his reputation enhanced. His 3rd Copa America. It's been a wonderful 12 months for him, from saving a Xabi Alonso penalty in the World Cup quarter-final to some heroics in the shootouts in both quarters and semi-final against Brazil and Venezuela, and some wonderful saves, particularly in that game against Brazil, but it wasn't to be his night tonight.
La Confederación Sudamericana de Fútbol, en la opinión de distinguidos periodistas.
The good thing about the second half, it didn't descend into a kicking match, did it? We thought that Paraguay might end up kicking, trying to upset Uruguay, but that wasn't the case.
De la Copa América Argentina 2011.
Well, Argentina and Brazil were the 2 overwhelming favourites coming into the tournament. An Argentina-Brazil final was on the cards. It turned out in the quarterfinals last weekend to completely overturn. Just about every outsider in those quarterfinals won through, taking us to this point where Uruguay have beaten Paraguay, and very deservedly so, with the 3 goals, 1 for Suarez and 2 for Forlan. Uruguay now unbeaten in 8 games, and it's a special moment A special, special moment indeed. Best young player award in the tournament goes to Sebastian Coates, the 20-year-old centre-half. He only made his international debut in the opening game of the tournament against Chile.
Yeah, he certainly played well. He's got good size, but he's very aware when balls are played over the top. He looks like he's got good pace. And he's certainly dominant when balls coming into the box. Really see whether he's a comfortable passer of the ball. But at the moment, he's a good defender.
De la Copa América Argentina 2011. Justo Villar de Paraguay.
Player of the tournament, Justo Villar, the Paraguayan goalkeeper. Some individual consolation for him.
Muslera would have liked it, of course. But Villar certainly made some good saves. He was outstanding. He led the team well.
De la Copa América Argentina.
Wonder whether he wishes he hadn't signed for Estudiantes last week, just before that Brazil game. Might have got a better move had he not put ink on the paper by then.
De Santander, Latinoamérica, conjuntamente con los directivos José Papo y Gastón Páez de NAI, también premiarán.
The leading goal scorer of the tournament was an award that Luis Suarez had his eyes on. And 48 hours ago, looked as though he was going to win it, but it's going to go to Paulo Guerrero. Peruvian striker's hat-trick in the third and fourth place playoff against Venezuela, seeing him end the tournament on 5 goals from his 6 games.
2011 Copa LG. Luis Suarez de Uruguay.
Luis Suarez gets the silver ball. 4 goals for him. Another wonderful tournament.
He looks to get better and better, doesn't he? It wasn't just his goal scoring, it's his link-up play, his strength. I'm sure Liverpool fans are looking forward to seeing him, not at the start of the season. He's going to be given a little rest by Kenny Dalglish.
Money very well spent. 20-odd million that they paid Ajax for Luis Suarez.
Fair play, ganada por la selección uruguaya de fútbol.
But this is the one that they all came to see lifted. Diego Lugano, well, not that one. But Diego Lugano will lift an award that looks like it's for fair play.
Yeah, fair play. Not often you'd say that about the Uruguayans, would it?
Egidio Raúl Arévalo Ríos, José Cáceres Silva, José Guillermo Castillo Iriarte.
Referee did well tonight. Salvio Fagundes produced a few yellow cards early in the game to set out his stall. Somehow managed to get to the end of the game without producing a red.
Well, I think because the game passed Paraguay by and stopped kicking and stopped play acting. Well, 1 or 2 tears there as well from the supporters.
Diego Godín, Álvaro González, Abel Hernández.
Now the Uruguayan players making their way up and receiving the gold medals, led by Néstor Muslera, who's playing his club football in Turkey next season. Arévalo, who had a major impact today, setting up the second goal. Coates with his Young Player of the Tournament award. I'm sure plenty of Premier League managers will be on his case. He plays his club football for Nacional in Uruguay. He's actually made barely 50 league appearances in his career. I don't think he'll be playing for Nacional for too long. Diego Perez, the old man of this Uruguayan side, finally scored his first goal in international football in his 68th cap against Argentina, and seals the tournament with another excellent performance of endurance in the final.
En cuya administración Uruguay se consagró semifinalista de la Copa Mundo Sudáfrica 2010, vicecampeona mundial de la Selección sub-17.
One of the third favourites coming into the tournament. I don't think too many of the Uruguayan supporters, Stuart, would have expected that it was going to turn out this way. But they did well against Argentina.
That was the big game for them, wasn't it? The Argentinian game. Once they won that, Paraguay beat Brazil. They were always going to be the favourites, and they lived up to that. Certainly today, dominating Paraguay. They played with a confidence. They enjoyed their football. They knew at half-time that the game was won.
La República Oriental del Uruguay.
And the final goal just sealed it. Brilliant final goal.
And a big moment for El Maestro as well. Oscar Tabarez, I mentioned earlier, knows what it's like to lose this final. 22 years ago. Must have thought he'd never get another opportunity. What a job he has done in this second spell as coach of Uruguay. Uruguayan football went through the doldrums, but it's certainly on its way up now. A World Cup semi-final, their first for more than 40 years, and now the Copa America for the first time since 1995. Not a hollow victory either. They thoroughly deserve the recognition that they will get. They have been the best footballing team in the tournament. Defensively sound as well, and with that little bit of flair that we saw tonight. A slow start with a draw against Peru, followed by another draw against Chile, but they're bottle held against Mexico. They beat Argentina, then Peru, and saved the biggest victory of the lot for the final itself against Paraguay. Uruguay are the South American champions in 2011. They will milk the moment. They thoroughly deserve to lift the famous old trophy for a record 15th time, and to make it even better, on Argentinian soil as well. Uruguay have won the 2011 Copa America.
They certainly deserved it. It's a great moment for Uruguayan football. They've got some good players coming through. They got to the final of the Under-17 tournament, World Cup. They're doing well. They've had some good Under-20 players as well. This could be the new era of Uruguayan football and South American football.
Brazil and Argentina, somewhat in the doldrums really in this tournament particularly. Neither of them played particularly well. Only one win each. Uruguay have had that level of consistency. They've had the attacking flair to go with the defensive solidity, and they have the famous trophy. What more could they want? Uruguay pulling it off for the first time in 16 years. And there can't be any footballing supporters who begrudge them the victory. So it is victory for Uruguay. From Stuart, myself, Jim Proudfoot, and the rest of the team, thanks very much for joining us. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage of the 2011 Copa America.
Justo campeón, ganó por contundencia, por carácter, por garra, porque tiene un equipo muy compacto que sabe muy bien lo que quiere, como comentábamos en cada partido de Uruguay que me tocó hacer. Con un equipo muy junto en tres líneas, que la mayor virtud es la humildad, que los talentos que tiene Uruguay están de cara al equipo, se brindan para el equipo y eso es fundamental, y sobre todo rescatar la presencia de Tabarez, ¿no? Todo esto se basa en un trabajo que viene desde hace años, sabiendo que Tabarez inculca eso a sus jugadores, porque lo conozco como entrenador y también tengo referencias como entrenador de él, y sabe que los mensajes que da tanto dentro de un vestuario como en el campo son de eso, ¿no? De sacrificio, humildad y sobre todo muchísimo carácter y hambre. Y eso es lo que tuvo hoy Uruguay, mucho hambre de llevarse esa copa para Uruguay.
Estaba pensando en Forlán, Forlán elegido mejor jugador del Mundial de Sudáfrica, con el Atlético de Madrid goles decisivos en la Europa League. Hoy otra vez 2 goles en una final. Es impresionante. Cuanto más importante es el partido y el acontecimiento, más se crece Forlán.
2 finales en el plazo de un año y 2 goles en cada una de esas finales. Sí, 4 goles en 2 finales.
Bueno, y ya no solo en la final, en la semifinal ante el Liverpool marcó en la ida y en la vuelta.
Sí.
Sí, impresionante. Precisamente está con la Copa el bueno de Diego Forlán.
Es una muy buena lección que Uruguay haya ganado esta Copa. Por todo el trabajo realizado, como comentábamos Julio, no solo en el Mundial, sino desde que agarró Tabarez. Es una lección para grandes selecciones que en esta Copa América han quedado fuera, como es Brasil y como es Argentina. Y es difícil decirlo, pero es la realidad. Esa es la realidad.
una cosa que no hemos dicho, que esta final la disputaron los dos equipos mejor clasificados en el último mundial del continente sudamericano. Entonces también significa algo. Yo creo además, y es evidente por el sorteo como estaba organizado, que la final tenía que ser Argentina y por otro lado tenían que medirse Brasil y Uruguay en una semifinal, pero como Argentina quedó segundo de su grupo y Uruguay también, tuvieron que medirse en cuartos de final y esa fue la auténtica pena, porque creo que si no se hubieran encontrado y si hubieran estado en lados opuestos de esta fase eliminatoria, la final hubiera sido Uruguay-Argentina.
Estaba por ahí, no sé si la habéis visto el pato celeste, os habéis fijado un pato, un vestido de pato, a ver si le vemos, mira, ¿le veis ahí al pato? Ahí la cabeza del pato. Este es un personaje que yo conocí en Sudáfrica, en Ciudad del Cabo, que va siempre con Uruguay y además no solo va vestido de pato, sino que imita perfectamente el sonido del pato. Tú lo conoces, Carlos, ¿no?
Sí, yo lo conocí en un restaurante
te ríes
aquí.
mucho con él. Y es una pasada, el tío es impresionante, vamos. El famoso pato celeste, es un poco la mascota de la selección, ¿verdad?
De una selección que lleva siendo un año, como decía Carlos, la mejor de Sudamérica, ¿no? Cuarta en el Mundial, tras 3 europeas, España, Holanda, Alemania, por este orden, cuarto Uruguay, y un año después la mejor de América.
Y fíjate que le costó clasificar para el Mundial de Sudáfrica,
Con
que
repechaje,
tuvo que ir
¿no?
al repechaje.
Sudamérica,
y sufrió
con repesca.
contra Costa Rica también.
Sí, no le ganó tan fácil a
sí,
Costa
sí,
Rica.
sí. Sí.
Efectivamente.
Bueno, y esto también subraya que cuando Argentina o Brasil organizan un torneo, y ha sido así hasta ahora, y no lo ganan, el ganador es Uruguay. Y también pensando en los comentarios de la sorpresa de que Uruguay había llegado, estuve repasando los últimos años de la Copa América y los títulos y comprobé que desde que Argentina ganó en el año 59, a partir de ahí, en esos 52 años, Argentina tiene 2 títulos, Brasil 5 y Uruguay 6.
Desde el 59. Un dato importante, sí. Pues este ha sido el sexto y el 15º en total.